Hello everybody, Anjas here and welcome back to Tokyo 24 Ku, episode 3. Hopefully in this episode we're gonna see some, maybe not necessarily action, although this is an action show, so I would fully expect to see some action, but we're gonna see some more story progression. Last episode was very focused on talking about the past, and about preparing us for this pretty much first arc of the story, right? We got some background on how the school burned down, why the school building was so important to them, that it wasn't an actual, active school, but they tried to turn it into somewhat of a community center, that there is a corporation that wanted the land, and now that corporation also wants the land where all the market, the shopping street is. So they want to take part in that contest festival thing to make other restaurants look bad, so they can buy them for cheap or something. And there seems to be that kind of mafia yakuza conspiracy somewhere in the background, and they probably were the ones who also burnt down that school so they can buy the land for cheap. And there's a couple of threads running here in parallel. Of course, there's the main plot, the main overarching story of our main trio getting the future predicting superpowers. There's the possibility of their friend, that girl, being turned into an AI thing. And that's something I realized, that the father of the green-haired one is also the father of that girl, and he's the governor of the city, and he's also responsible for the whole future predicting system. That makes me think that perhaps he either repurposed his daughter as a natural biological neural network to power that system, or maybe in a last ditch attempt to save her, to not let her die, he transferred her consciousness into that computer or something along those lines, right? Perhaps she wasn't used by some, evil corporation, but it was her father acting out of genuine parental love. That would be maybe a little bit surprising, but not really. And it would kind of also explain why she's reaching out to her friends, kind of, sorta. I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there, throwing my predictions, my theories. Maybe one of them will come true. We'll see. But we won't see that if we don't watch this episode, right? So we should be getting started soon. I might be releasing it a day early, and in the slot of Tokyo 24 Ku, I'm gonna throw Arifureta season 2. We'll see. Because I just noticed that it's Wednesday, and the show Tokyo 24 Ku is already out, and I usually release it on Thursdays. So why wait a day? I don't know. I don't know. I hate keeping schedules, to be perfectly honest with you. But I have to. So it is what it is. Right, let's not talk anymore about it. Let's give you guys some subs, and let's just jump right into it. Cables. Also, worth mentioning, if you have some theories about Tokyo 24 Ku, you can share them in the comments, or you can share them on my Discord server. There's a special Tokyo 24 Ku channel you can join, it's free. Link in the description. Okay, let's not prolong it any further. Do I have focus? I should. Is this the correct episode? Tokyo 24 Ku 03, version by subs, please. Episode 3 is gonna be starting in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, it's Bulk and Skull. Okay, that also explains why they were harassing people on that shopping district. They weren't acting out of just being assholes, they were acting probably on the orders of the Yakuza boss. Okay, Kozue is that other girl. Yeah. She's looking at the photo of the dead one? Or just browsing Facebook? Hmm? What about your ego? I like how everybody has a split bone. Yeah, you don't do that in a bath. Oh, and he was holding his breath for some reason. Oh, that's the bath that the red one painted. No cabbages. My cabbages! That makes me wonder, is the whole episode gonna be them hunting for cabbages? Hopefully not. And yes, I still don't remember their names. You know what? I've grown to really like this OP. I wasn't entirely sold on it before, but now I actually really dig it. Some great music in this season in general. Between this OP and the soundtrack of Sabikui Bisco, that just straight out sounds like Cell Dweller. Some genuinely great music. And hell, Symphogear, show entirely focused on music, right? Gather and Chop. So yeah, they are basically Balkan Skull. No, it's flatbread. Break in, what else? You can and you will. And you're still about it. Is it Asumi? Okay, it looks like they don't have to resort to thievery. Earl Grey with lemon. Right, because he supported them when they wanted to turn the school into a community center. It's better to apologize than to ask for permission. Time for a montage. Cabbage Okonomiyaki. And she's just sulking in her room, looking at what her friends are doing, looking at what her father is doing. Ah. Okay. How are Bulk and Skull and the Scar Dude gonna retaliate? Has it? Fake ballots? Bribed officials? It was Mon Jungle giving away like lead chopsticks? How? Explain, please. Okay, explain. Yeah. Oh, of course. That's really dumb plan, to be perfectly honest with you. Even if they win through, unethical means, people know what they like. They're gonna keep buying their okonomiyaki at the shopping street. They're not gonna suddenly start going to Monjangle if they didn't like Monjangle food. Okay, he's gonna see his daughter out and about, and he'll be able to disqualify them with clear conscience or something along those lines. Yep. Yeah, that's actually the best moment to do that. When everybody's eyes are on the stage. Uh future predicting powers? Future predicting powers. Let's go. Avengers assemble, Power Rangers go, Zordon roll out and whatever. Okay, so it's not a power that they just get. It's kind of a one shot that they get the vision from the phone call. Okay, so it works a little bit differently from what I thought. How? Tornado out of nowhere? And they're gonna pick the third option and gonna save everybody. uh, okay, so it's not quite brain hacking. Although, that doesn't explain their superpowers. The vision could have technically been planted in their heads with some sort of, sound frequency and whatnot. That's as reasonable as we're gonna get. But the boost to their speed and strength and whatnot, not really. Let me ask that again. How? Yeah, there's people who actually live in tornado zones. Can a tornado just appear out of a clear sky. Just like that, completely out of nowhere. I would think that it can't. That there's at least, some overcast or some wind that precedes a tornado, but maybe I'm mistaken. I don't know, the worst natural disaster we get in Poland is like flood. And it's never like super bad either. How convenient that all of them are, you know, controllable like that. They're gonna have to save her. What? Who even is she? Who's gonna pay for the cars though? Oh, that's smart. That's smart. Use people who are already running, doesn't matter why they're running, to cause other people to run. Uh, Reminds me of that skit by mm, Limmy. That skit by Limmy, him running in the park and people running after him. Maybe not straight with a gun. No, it's not. He's gonna stop the semi. Of course he is. Whoa! The muscles, though! Holy shit! Tornado? Tornado, out of nowhere. They lack coordination. Yeah. Did you see the tornado? There you go! There we go! Please do. The tornado is kinda close, though. Right. Are the containers even heavy enough to not be picked up by the tornado? Yeah, I guess some people are just fucking dead already. Guess you can't save everybody, huh? Super hearing now? Look, it's Kozue! Well, now she's not getting outside of her room. She dared step out of the room for that one single day, and there's a fucking tornado. I'd be a shut in forever. Uh, oh, I guess Kaba's dead. No, he's not. He's gonna untie the wire. Dead? Yeah, there's no sound. Grayscale filter. Dead. Hmm. Not quite how I thought it's gonna go. Oh, that's it? I guess that's it. No, it's because you didn't coordinate. Yes, exactly. If only you talked to each other. Who is you? Are we getting introduced to our villain? Who can control weather? Well, the plot thickens. That was an abrupt end. Holy shit. The plot thickens. Let, let's go through this episode again, I guess. What else is there we can do but go through it again? Uh, yeah, we knew that Bulk and Skull are on his paycheck. Yeah, now she's not getting out of her room ever. She dared to step foot outside of her room, and not only did she have to go through the whole tornado ordeal, but she has to live with the knowledge, with the fact that her being there is what actually killed her father. Had she not been there, her father would have been alive. That's really bad for her mental state, I can assure you. any actual human being would be absolutely devastated by it and would go even deeper and deeper in her depression and anxiety and hikikomoriism. But that makes me think, if this show is gonna actually go uh, with such a realistic depiction of it, or maybe she's gonna magically get over her fear of getting out. She's gonna get over her agoraphobia and she's gonna become a fully functional member of society. It's entirely plausible. And of course, she goes because of Kinako. We could use some Yuri in this show. Why not? But unfortunately, Kinako is captivated by the red one. No cabbages anywhere, of course. Altruism, individualism, utilitarianism, artificial intelligence, groupism, principle of double effect, trolley problem, consequentialism, plank of something, triage. Okay, that's significant. That's significant. Those are your choices, right? And whether you use groupism or altruism, or you're directed by utilitarianism or individualism, right? All of that has to be put in a triage. I like the I like the meaning in this OP, you know? I like it when the OP has meaning and isn't just a collage of scenes from the anime or scenes that never happened in the anime, cough cough, Saihat no Paladin. Uh, okay. They both all cabbages. It really is a Sunday morning cartoon of villainy. Don't tell me you don't see that. We're gonna buy all the cabbages and they won't be able to make their dishes. And people will hate them, which means our restaurant will be the big one. We will win and buy out all the land. Very mustache twirly, very Sunday morning cartoony. And and the whole like Power Rangers Bulk and Skull villainy is contrasted with the tragedy of that one dude dying, with determinism, with trying to choose a different future, and all those deep themes. There's a lot of theme switching in this anime, I feel. Either a lot of theme switching, or they kind of failed at writing their villains. Although, judging by the design of Bulk and Skull, they actually consciously went for Sunday morning cartoon villainy. I think like they did, and they consciously employ that theme switching between the ridiculous villains and between the dark underlying serious themes. Uh, kind of reminiscent, maybe not, fully reminiscent, but another series that also employs a lot of theme switching has been Symphogear. And I mean a lot of theme switching. One moment you have some comedic, haha, funny, warm Yuri moments. Another moment, someone gets brutally mutilated. I kinda like it. I kinda like it, Keeps things fresh. And of course, it's a specific brand of cabbages. And they can't decide on anything. That's gonna be the fuck. That's gonna be the running theme, I feel like. The green one and the red one can't agree on anything. And the blue one has to somehow merge their views, merge their ideas together, or he has to propose a third better option. Kinda like, in this case, a third better option appeared because someone had the cabbages. Right? And we're spending some quality time with this dude. I like how there weren't really any death flags set for him. His death really came out of the blue. I like that. I'm not a huge fan of setting up death flags. Um, we didn't, suddenly start to care about him because right in this episode, right before dying, he said that, oh, I love my family, I want to spend all the time with them, and I'm just one day away from retirement. I'm so happy that I will be able to live happily with my loving daughter and loving wife. And then, boom, he's dead, right? He was set up as a character that we genuinely care about throughout the whole series so far. We don't care about him because of a couple of lines that he said in this one episode. We care about him because he's been a good, decent character, very lovable character that I honestly thought is gonna be kind of a mentor for our main trio. We cared about him because he was from the very beginning established as a character that we should care about. Maybe not even that he was established as a character we should care about. He was presented in a way that made us all care about him. That's the better way to put it. And that's why his death hits all the more. Because it wasn't a sudden thing that, hey, you have to care about him. Ha, psych, he's dead. We were genuinely led to care about him. A little bit of a montage. And yeah, she decides to go out. Hinako-chan. Blush. I just want to see Kinako. I like this moment. Of course, everybody prefers the good, homemade food, not the monjangle. What even is monjayaki? I need to check it out. Is it an actual thing? Is it an actual thing, or is it just their name for okonomiyaki? No, monjayaki is an actual thing. Monjayaki, it's similar to okonomiyaki, but uses different liquid ingredients. Okay. Okay, it uses dashi or water in the dough, and and it's runnier than okonomiyaki, and the consistency is comparable to melted cheese. Okay, so it's okonomiyaki, but not essentially. Yeah, the outcome has already been decided. Of course, they rigged everything, and he just, happened to overhear it because of course he did. Hmm. Out-of-word school attendance permits aren't issued all that easily. What is your hook here? Since she had good grades, all things considered, it seems hard for her to continue attending her current school. Okay, so basically, if you turn a blind eye, I can help put your daughter in a better school. Which is honestly, if you ask me, kind of a weird hook. If it was something like, I don't know, if you don't turn a blind eye, I will have your daughter expelled. That would be better. Because I think like a better way to threaten people, right, to get a hook on them, is to threaten to change status quo for the worse, not to promise to change status quo for the better. Because they are already, established in that status quo. Status quo, or however you pronounce it. I think it's actually quo. They're already living that. So a promise to change that for the better in exchange for some unethical help isn't really as appealing. A threat of changing it for the worse. Now that is an actual impulse to do something, to perhaps help them. Kind of a weak villain. Honestly, very weak villain. His looks, his design absolutely does not reflect the kind of villain he is. Are you alright making your family happy? Oh, just for your own sake of justice and ego. That's a callback to when at the beginning he was looking at the keychain and talking about his ego. I was very confused why he was talking about his ego. Now we know. That's a nice little bit of foreshadowing. And of course, he exposes the scheme because he's a genuinely good guy. And oh, look, it's the future where everybody dies. You have to choose. And yeah, that's their problem. That is their problem. They are thinking of different things and they are not communicating. They're communicating to Shuuta that clear of the bridge. But the red one wants the bridge to be clear so that he can bring more containers. And the green one wants the bridge to be clear to move out all the people. They want the same thing from Shu, but for different reasons. And they haven't communicated at all. I think they all just assume that they are on the same wavelength by just saying that to clear the bridge, but it couldn't be further from truth. They need to learn how to work together. Yeah, you have to move them out, and I have to bring all those containers in. Who is her? I. With every episode, there's something more about her. In the first episode, she was just an assistant. In the second episode, she was also an assistant, but she was also established at the end as someone who has access to that supercomputer and can load some sort of a cylindrical cell into it. Now she's sitting in front of that computer talking about honey dipped sugar glazed chocolate rings. I have no clue who she is. I know I like her, but I have no clue who she is. Of course, the best way to clear out the rage is to just throw all the cars overboard. Obviously. I like this moment. The green one really is smart to use the SARG running to instill more panic in people. And some way to counter the wind, yeah. And you guys didn't communicate, and that's the reason. It wasn't the fault of the green one for trying to evacuate people. It wasn't the fault of the red one for trying to bring in the containers. It was the fault of them both for not communicating clearly. It's always frustrating to me, you know? It's always frustrating when issues in media happen only and solely because people don't communicate. It's like the absolute easiest thing to do. I am communicating right now and I'm putting close to no effort into it. When my mom comes into my room and asks if I have some tea left or should she make me some because she's making some for herself, that's communication. She doesn't just barge into my room with a glass of tea, with a cup of tea, or a mug of tea because I drink tea in mugs. She asks first, right? If I'm out and about, I call and ask, hey, do you need something from the store? I don't just buy a slab of meat out of nowhere if I don't know that, hey, maybe we don't have meat at home, maybe we do have meat at home. Communication. I sincerely hope they're gonna work on it. I sincerely hope that they will and they will improve it. That's probably one of the things that I hate the most about rom-coms. I mentioned it time and again, but it won't hurt to mention it again. The thing I hate the most about rom-coms and romances altogether, basically, and if it has like romance drama tags, then I, completely bypass it. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole, because drama and romance usually means that there's gonna be like 8 episodes or 15 chapters of the manga where there's some super huge big drama that could have been solved by just saying, yeah, she actually was my sister. I wasn't cheating on you. She's just my sister. I can call her if you want. We can, like, I don't know, go visit her. So, don't stir drama. She's just my sister. But no, instead of that, there's of course a big huge misunderstanding, and oh, he must not love me anymore, he's with some other girl. And then the dude thinks, oh, she suddenly cut contact, she must not love me anymore. And she finds herself some dude who she doesn't really love, but she wants the other dude to be jealous. And there's a whole ass fucking arc that could have been solved if they just communicated. I absolutely abhor that. It does nothing but just prolong the series. It has zero value. If people don't behave like people, why should I care about them? So I really hope that they will solve their communication issues. That they will figure out that, hey, our teacher died because we didn't fucking talk to each other. Hey, all those people died because we didn't fucking communicate. Because I didn't tell what my plan is, and because you didn't tell what your plan was, all those people died. And we need to do better. I really hope that that is the key takeaway they're gonna get from it. And holy shit, those muscles. I wish receiving a phone call was able to give you this kind of muscles. I wouldn't be blocking those telemarketers that are calling me incessantly. Here's the tornado. Why did you do this? Why did you do this? Because you didn't fucking talk about your plans. He has his idea, and of course they can't figure out what to do. Kozue is here. Now, first of all, really fucking stupid of him to do that. Like, he witnessed the blue guy, Shu, just stop the fucking semi with his bare hands and legs. He should be like, hey, I'm a 40-something dude. I have back pain. I have gout. I'm probably not in the best condition to go save my daughter. You young, super strong superhero out there, can you just run over there real quick and save my daughter? Now, I understand, right? In the heat of a moment, of course. But still a dumb thing of him to do. The cable is, of course, too short for some reason. Just happens to be a little bit too short. I honestly thought that he's gonna untie this cable or just gonna snap it or just gonna run pulling all those semis with him. Like a strongman moment. The strongman competitions where they're pulling a semi or a baying or something with, behind them. I really thought it's gonna be a moment like that. But no, they just killed the dude. Capazit is dead. I was really, really hoping he's gonna be their mentor. But no, he's just dead. Maybe he's gonna be turned into an AI as well. I don't know. It's because we didn't choose. No, because you made a choice, but each of you made a different choice and you didn't communicate about which choice you made. And yes, Shu is completely right. You should have cooperated and aimed to create a different future. Need I remind you that in episode 1 you did exactly that? You didn't choose, you created a third future, where the train was saved and all its passengers, and your girl was saved. Right? A completely third future. So why is it that now they're thinking that they have to choose one or the other if there's already a precedent set for them not having to choose? It was us, we killed Miss Shirakaba. Kinda. I guess you are a bit at fault. He himself is a bit at fault. Not to mention this motherfucker who apparently can control weather. What is this design? What what is this design? I'm completely stumped. I can't treat this villain seriously. It's like gorilla hands, weaved under his chin, a fishhook slit in his mask, two different colored eyes, only bottom teeth, some JoJo torso. This show has been, fairly grounded so far. Sci-fi, don't get me wrong, all this, quantum computer and whatnot, but it was fairly grounded. And suddenly someone like that appears. Who could be the stand user? I've no clue. He looks like, he's our classmate. Our classmate just looks like that. I actually have to grab a screenshot of him. Because it's just. It's just too ridiculous. Carneides. Does it actually mean something? Let me look it up. Carneides. Carneides. It's from Greek. Means of Carnea. It was a Greek philosopher. Head of the Skeptical Academy in ancient Greece. Okay. He started to refute all previous dogmatic doctrines, especially Stoicism and the Epicureans. Okay, so he was basically a huge skeptic. He seems to have doubted the ability not just of the senses but of reason too in acquiring truth. His skepticism was, however, moderated by the belief that we can nevertheless ascertain probabilities, not in the sense of statistical probability, but in the sense of persuasiveness of truth to enable us to act. I can see the connection. Sure, I can see the connection. I'm the one who will trust choices upon this world of the future. Suddenly, out of nowhere, villain! Our previous villain, Mr. Yakuza dude, had the planning and the villainy of a Power Rangers villain, but the looks of like genuine villain. This motherfucker has the looks of a Power Rangers villain, but has the motivations and actions of an actual villain. Hmm. This show keeps surprising me. Yeah, it keeps surprising me. Sometimes it's a positive surprise, sometimes it's a little bit maybe negative surprise. Uh, but it does keep surprising me. I'm not honestly sure if we need a villain, to be perfectly honest with you. This is a 12 episode show, and I feel like we have enough on our plate to already be able to fill those 12 episodes. Right? The mystery of Mari was her name, the girl that died, of her death and the phone calls, maybe not of her death, but the phone calls they were receiving, that alone could fit 12 episodes. The mystery of why the school building burned, and the whole Yakuza organization behind that, who wants to acquire all the land apparently, Sunday morning cartoony as it is, it could also fill 12 episodes. Or you could have 6 episodes spent on one, 6 episodes spent on other, or whatever other split. Do we really need a third overarching story? Do we really need an actual tangible villain here? I feel like we don't always need a villain. This seems like the perfect show where the quote unquote villain would be the system. Overall, the system. The government trying to control their citizens, predicting crimes and whatnot. That alone could have been the main running theme of this show. Not every show needs a tangible villain. That is a hill I am willing to die on. More so, I feel like the best shows actually have no tangible villain. Right? Man versus society. Man versus, all those other conflict types. Man versus himself. All those other conflict types are much more appealing to me personally than just man versus man. Because it usually just ends up with a fight where one of them gets punched in the face and loses, and the other wins. And it's usually our main protagonist that wins. And it's just it has its appeal, don't get me wrong. But when every single show relies on a tangible villain, it tends to get a little bit stale with time. It tends to get a little bit stale. I was really hoping that we're actually gonna see some man versus society kind of deal here, some mystery, but no, it seems like the end game of the series is meeting that Carnatus or whatever the fuck his name is and beating him to a pulp. And that kind of devalues it a little bit, makes the end game a little bit less appealing. I'm looking forward to it a little bit less. Right? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. There's still a lot of episodes ahead of us. A lot can still happen. Hell, they might announce second season for all we know. You never know that. It's an anime original, so they could do pretty much anything. For all we know, they could make a gacha based on it, like they did with Tactile Destiny. I don't think they would. There isn't really any gacha material here, but they could make a movie. They could make second season. They could make an MMO based on it, or whatever else. Hard to tell. Maybe the rest of the story will be told in a original manga based on the anime. I have no clue. We'll have to wait and see. That's pretty much all that we have left. We'll have to wait and see if this villain is actually gonna be engaging, if he's gonna be personified a lot, like an actual central threat here, or is he just sort of a spokesperson for the system, maybe? No, not really. He doesn't really represent the system, does he? He creates his own attacks, his own problems, his own issues, like the tornado. For some reason, he was able to create that. So we have the conflict of man versus system, and alongside of it, we have a conflict of man versus man. And then we have the mystery, and then we have another conflict of man versus man with the Yakuza dude. I fear that they might have taken a little bit too much. They might have aimed for the sun, and they might get burned a little. That's my fear. But yeah, as I said, we're gonna have to wait and see. But you guys tell me, what did you think of this episode? What did you think of my reaction? What are your hopes and fears for this series? Tell me all about that down in the comments or on my Discord server. There's a special Tokyo24Ku channel where you can go and talk about your opinions and what you thought of this episode, what you think of the series as a whole. Yeah, link in the description. It's completely free to join, etc., etc. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. If you really like what I'm doing, you can support me on Patreon, link in the description. For just $1 a month, you get access to a Patreon-only Discord channel on my open free Discord server. No, I'm not gonna say it's linked down in the description again. That would be one time too many. Subscribe to the channel so you get notified of future releases, not only of Tokyo24Ku, but also Arifureta Season 2, Sabikui Bisco, Dolls Frontline, and Symphogear Season 1. So if you're into any of those series, I have them. They're gonna be somewhere in the cards in the top right corner for you. Or you can, click my channel name, go to the channel, and find the playlists. Click the bell icon so you get notified. You know how it works. Everybody tells you how it works. You surely know how it works. So I don't think there is any point in me telling you about that. Anything else I need to peddle? Share this video, I guess. If you know someone who likes Tokyo24Ku and would be interested in watching my reaction to it, send them the link. Maybe they're gonna enjoy it. I don't know, maybe not. Who knows? There are all sorts of people out there. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it. Yeah, that's gonna be it from me for today. So, as always, do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you guys the next one. Cheers! And here's my current list of Patreons. And you can join them very easily. Just click that link down below and you can be here.